Pilates roll down. So stand again into your equal feet, strong legs, and then take the chin towards the chest and look down, nodding that chin down, shake out the head and neck if necessary. Take a little moment to flex that neck, and then slide the hands and arms down your legs, centering your body, hollowing and scooping through the belly center, and if possible, let your body drape down, so it's much like ragdoll, of course. And then press the palms into the mat and walk into your Pilates plank. Walking into plank. You can bring those feet hip wide. Remember, the palms are pressing out shoulder wide or a little wider. Personally, I like to squeeze the legs together and encourage energy to penetrate up through the inner thighs. But remember, you are not sagging. You are lifting the lower body up to meet the back body and finding some generous energy in the whole body from the crown to the tailbone. Pushing the earth away, and then find that you squeeze through the thumbs. So as if the roots of the thumbs are drawing towards that midline, and that will encourage extra tonality on the chest. And then bring the knees down. Walk the hands directly below the shoulders, roll the shoulders back, and then tilt and tuck the pelvis. So the pelvis rises and flare the left buttock to the left, the right buttock to the right. Draw the scapulae down the back, stand proud on those arms. Feel this position, and then rounding. So rolling the tailbone under, squeezing between the inner thighs, scooping the belly in, the breastbone in, the ribs in, and pressing the scapulae up towards the sky. And now keep your frame steady. So table back, as I said, knees below the hips. Slide the left leg away, toes reaching away from you. Slide the right fingers and palm away, palm rotates inwards. And then float the thigh and the arm from that strong center, keeping hips and the hips facing the earth. Lengthen for 10, 9, 8, 7. So it's diagonal paraspinal muscle strength. Your left shoulder to right hip is completely steady, and the right shoulder to left hip is steady. We've got this moving peripheries, right arm to left leg, just tapping away, and then slide back and give the buttocks a little reach out, a little nuzzle towards the feet. Extend the arms forward, and inhale, exhale, shell stretch, and then come back to your second side now, to your other diagonal. So all fours, tabletop back, really secure. Slide your right leg away, and remember you're going to keep that pelvis completely level, inner thighs are strong, and reach the left arm forward. And the palm doesn't face down, it rotates in. So it's almost as if you're shaking someone's hand. Long back neck. Steady yourself first, so engage the core first, and then lift and lower. And the lifting is a lengthening. So you're not reaching up above the crown and up above the hip line, because again, that will create back bend. So maintain your natural neutral spine curves, but in order to move into this energy, as you can tell, you must promote a great deal of stability. Remember to breathe. And then on completion of 10 repetitions, hands come in. And we're going to start now into the sideline gluteal practice. So bring yourself onto your right hip, and you may even want to lay a blanket underneath that hip. Knees are bent, and it's quite a good idea to set the alignment before you lay down. So as you look at these knees that are bent, I'd like you to notice that your heels are approximately in line with your sit bones. So you've created a little V shape, a letter V behind you. And I'm going to cradle the head, so right ear into my right palm. You might want to be laying completely flat, or of course placing a cushion between the ear and the upper arm. Most importantly, shoulder blades slide down your back and stack your hips. Pull up under your side waist and engage the muscles of the core. Left hand can be on top of the hip, or you can use fingertips here to stabilise you. So we're going to start with oysters. So as you open the top knee, your feet are going to stay together, and you're just going to open that knee to the place where your hip allows a good range. But remember, this is about strength, not flexibility. So imagine you've got a little grapefruit here, maybe a ball the size of a grapefruit between the knees, and you want to squeeze your grapefruit. So again, keep gathering under the waist, faces forward. You don't really need to look down towards those knees, so keeping the gaze forward, long back neck, and we're going to squeeze up and down. So you want to create resistance on the up and the down motion. At all times, keep your waist as gathered in as you can, so cinching in at the waist. Can you also notice tonality on the lower leg? So those that have got really good perception of their inside muscles working, it's not that you're just moving your knee, you're keeping a steady pelvis and there's no rocking back and forth. We're looking for about 20 repetitions of these. Inhale, exhale all the way through, squeezing up and down. And now, raise your feet. So, create a lifting of the feet away. Pause to refresh your alignment, lifting away at the side waist. Maybe that top arm rests or comes behind you. 20 more. And you can notice how challenging it is to control the action when the feet are not laying on the mat. So squeeze, squeeze, open and squeeze. Imagine that grapefruit. And inner thighs are toning. This is really good for your back, as long as you're not in that back bend. So you want to keep lengthening from the waist to the tailbone. This is that oysters with the feet lifted. Remember, you're breathing throughout, and this, of course, is really activating the lower structures, the lower body. So after 20, release the legs out long. Now, as you release them long, essentially, they can come long through the back line of your mat. You can bend the lower knee for greater stability. So you bend that lower knee forward, of course, and lengthen the top leg out of your hip. Or you can reach the legs towards the front corner of the mat. So we have this 45-degree angle. So perhaps make an adjustment somewhere along those lines, yeah? But remember, stacking the hips, top shoulder above bottom shoulder, and we're going to reach through the top leg and push the heel away and engage the bottom leg. And see how well you can balance here. And then up, lengthen down. Up and lengthen down. Lengthen up and lengthen down. So each time you lift this leg, create an elongation out of the hip at the same time. Once you've found your reference move, we're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, smile, 2 and 1, raise and lengthen. And then, often we might need just a fingertip touch in front of the navel. Try not to lift your arm in front of the face and shrug that shoulder up to the ear, so release it down. Swing or reach the leg forward and press it back. So front kick forward and back. 10, 9, 8. Try and slide the leg as if you have a table here. So as you bring that leg forward, you don't really want it to drop down. You want to keep that height. Remember, you're also cinching in your side waist. And the range could be small, or you might be bringing the front leg all the way in line with your upper hip. Again, we're looking for feel sensing into 10 of these. Fully strong foot, pressing forward, pressing back. And you will definitely feel this in the gluteals and the muscles of the thigh. And remember, you'll pop that leg down and take a rest as necessary, or you might even want to bend the lower leg. If you've got a tight low back or tightness in those hips, definitely bend that lower leg because it allows the range through the pelvis to be a little easier. Front kick forward, lengthen back to the start position. Take a pause after 10. Belly belt comes around, point the toes, lengthen the hip out. So create length all the way along that side waist. And then small circles forward for 10, 9, 8. Keep engaging the gluteals. And 5, 4. No rocking on that pelvis, so pelvic core really secure. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then can you lengthen that lower leg now? Just lengthen that lower leg. Squeeze the legs together and lift both legs. Point the feet and lift both legs. Shoulder blades stay down the back and then lower the legs. But as you lower them, don't land and relax. So lift, lower, hover, lift and reach. Squeeze the inner thighs together, toes are pointed. Just 5 of the double leg lift if you can manage. And then roll onto your front body and draw the breastbone forward. Elongate the back neck and reach the arms behind you and extend into the triceps. And then let those arms and shoulders just extend further towards the feet and toes. Elevate the chest, low dart, and then reach the arms out to a T shape. So breathe here, tops of feet and toes are pointing down, lengthen towards that midline, draw up through the navel, press back, and lateral. Breathe, press back, and lateral. Press, reach wide, press, reach wide. Strong length through the body. You've barely lifted, but you're feeling the ribs gathering in. And then press the hands under the shoulders. Rise up. All fours. And circle your pelvis. And as you circle the pelvis, bring other organic movement into your side waists, into the ribs, and of course into the shoulder zone. Let your hips, rib baskets, arms, and shoulders, maybe even the head and neck, let it roll around, creating these circles around the mat. Breathing all the way through. So it's great to have strong postural stability, but we also need a good balance of mobility in the body as well, of course. Okay, so spiral now onto your left hip into what looks a little bit like side sitting, and bending your knees resting onto that left hip, aligning your body for classical Pilates oysters. And I'm cradling the head, I'm drawing the ribs away, cinching in at the waist, and find as well in your body that you are stacking those hips. Top arm is resting, feet are together, and begin to open and close. And we're going to imagine between the knees that there is a ball, a strong ball to squeeze. Of course, if you've got any props, that would be a great place to put your Pilates ball if you wish. But essentially, imagine a grapefruit there, and we're squeezing down. The thing is, you might be able to bring that leg all the way back, but you'll roll off of the alignment. So essentially, this isn't about having really powerfully, this is about having powerful muscles supporting your torso and legs, rather than, you know, being able to take that leg up wide into a hip opener. We will have opportunity for that, of course, in other sessions. So you're finding perhaps another 10 of these. We're going to try and work through 20 repetitions of the oysters, and then the second set is with the feet lifted. Observing your frame all the way. And remember, you're not back bending, so try not to stick your bum out. So it's a long, strong torso, almost as if at the back of your mat is a wall. And finding your mind really engaged in the muscular action all the way through. Okay, that might be 20. Let's lift the feet, refresh the stacking of the hips, balance here, or just a fingertip, a couple of fingers, light fingertip touch in front of you to secure your 20 repetitions here. It could be a tiny opening and close, in which case you might be moving faster. You should be feeling activation of what we sometimes just call the back pocket muscles. So you might want to put your hand there on that imaginary back pocket and feel energy, good positive energy, protecting the joints. I've lost count, but I'm sure you're focusing really strongly on your counting. Keep drawing that navel in. And even if you're feeling a little fatigued, remember to add 5 more or 2 more. So 20 reps is just guidance. How is the face and neck? Are you managing to feel soft as you breathe easily? Okay, let's lengthen away. And again, when you lengthen away, just remember to restack. Other option, of course, is to lift onto the elbow. And then we're going to push out through the heels of the feet. Knees are facing forward and side lift. So this is for the side of the waist. So still feel this in the lower structures, in the legs and the thighs. We're going to move through a few reference movements. Keep lifting, pressing and lengthening. Now let's go for 10, 9, 8. Often it's just a hip height. If you have range to go a little higher, you can, but you've got to maintain that strong pelvic core to abdomen connectivity. So leg, upper leg lift, side waist, still engage the gluteals, not gripping, not clenching, long back waist, long side waist, pulling up through the under waist. Even if you're lying all the way down on the side, keep drawing up through that waist. Squeezing, squeezing. Okay, and then we're going to reach the leg forward. Now you can point the toes if you wish, and you can flex the heel back. And I'm just going to keep it on the same foot action. So front kick forward and back. And imagine in front of you here, you've got a table and you are gliding your leg on a table so you maintain the same range, height, control of the action all the way through. Front kick forward and glide, lengthen, slide back. Lengthen forward, slide back, shoulder blades down the back. And as I said before, if it's easier or helps you find this action, you're laying down and the lower leg is bent. glide forward and draw back. Keep the waist muscles drawn in, breathing steady. Okay, we've got about 10 controlled measured repetitions of our front kick forward and back. This is known as the Pilates front kick. And then maybe your legs are reaching long out towards the 45 angle, or again, maybe you've got that lower leg bent. And we're going to circle, controlled circles. Keep lengthening, we're pointing the toes away and circling forwards. Small controlled circles. You want to imagine you've got hoops all the way along your leg, and then circle in reverse. Nice steady control of your muscles as they move. So mind, body, breath, health. Keep reaching through, lifting that waist. Now squeeze the legs together when you've finished. Keep going if you're still circling, and then raise the legs and lengthen and lower the legs. Raise and lengthen and lower. So you might be able to balance and have your arm on top of that thigh as you lift those legs, or you may just have a couple of fingers in front of the navel or the low waist as you try and elevate, squeeze, draw those legs together, and then roll onto your back. And as you roll onto the back, make sure you've centered your body and take a moment just to find Pilates supine semi. So Pilates base position, back body spreading out, waist, ribs, mid, lower, upper abdominals engaged. And walk the feet towards the buttocks and press your arms in and down. So back arms, shoulders spreading, triceps pressing down, hands pressing. And then roll into your pelvic curl. So your back flattens as you squeeze and feel that little extra scoop in the lowest abdominal. And then imprint the spine. And then inhale as you arc away and your pelvis tilts. So the sacrum and tail rolls away. You've got that little gap under the back waist. And then pelvic curl. Now press through the feet evenly and bring that curl up into your shoulder bridge. And find those hips are level, thighs reaching forward, inner thighs are strong. Once again, we want to feel those glutes active. Now just open your knees, small amount, and squeeze back together. So this feels a little bit like another opportunity of Pilates oysters. Ice and rise, and open your knees and squeeze. And you're not squeezing these together, you're not going to touch because you've got hip wide feet. You're going open and squeeze. We're going 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift a small amount higher, press through the feet and toes, and then start to release down, articulating from the breastbone, setting the body down, and bring the knees into the chest, and massage. Stir a circle on the earth, massage your back, and here you'll feel as if you're just reaching into a little mild gluteal stretch as you hug behind the backs of the knees. Cup the knees now and draw some hip circles. So knees together apart, and circle, bring the knees together, open wide. And as you circle through the femur bone, circling through the hip socket, can you feel the impacts on the muscles of your back? And then circle the other way, guiding through your arms. And then rock up to sitting and hug the legs in and stay balanced or become balanced in the tucked, rolling like a ball position. And then reach the thighs, the calf muscles parallel to the earth if you can. You can still hold the backs of the thighs or take the arms away. Squeeze the knees together. See if you can just sustain the seated balance. So this should what we call boat in yoga. So there's a mild C-shaped curve